What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mar B, and you are listening to another episode of the Man Listen Show. Before we get started, let's hear a few words from our sponsors. Please buy the new book by Arika Nicole Moore, Diabolical Tales of Woe. Diabolical Tales of Woe is a thrilling collection of short horror stories that leave you in an excited trepidation to see what will happen next. Prepare to face one horrific encounter after the next in this captivating novel. You can find this book on Amazon in the Kindle and paperback version. That is Diabolical Tales of Woe by Arika Nicole Moore.
I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Man Listen Show. You can also find the show on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. Please share the show and make sure you use the hashtag ManListen. I'm your host, Mar B. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. Lab, what's up with you, bro?
What's going on, man?
Doing all right. C, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How about you?
Doing well. Arika, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. So on today's show, we have a very somber topic to discuss. Kobe Bean Bryant passed away in a helicopter crash. He was traveling to a youth basketball game with 8 other passengers. Included in those 8 was his daughter Gianna, lovingly known as Gigi. As news spread of the death of this NBA legend, sadness spread across not just the country but the world. Kobe left an indelible impact on not just basketball, but the entire planet. He was a loving husband and a wonderful father, and we felt it appropriate to share our thoughts on his death, his life, and where do we go forward from here. So I'll start off with my brother Lav. Lav, no doubt you are one of the biggest Kobe Bryant fans I know. When news came of Kobe's death and it was actually confirmed, what were your initial thoughts?
Initially, I was in shock, obviously. I was speechless. I got the text, TMZ. And of course, you know, TMZ is kind of like, sometimes they be off base. Sometimes, you know, you really don't know.
I don't know. When it comes to these deaths, though, they on point because
no, they do. I mean,
they called MJ.
Their track record's usually pretty good.
And when it comes to these deaths, they on point. So, but go ahead, bro.
No, you're right. But you know, I still didn't believe it. So I had like probably 2 or 3 different text chains going at the same time. So we're all interacting, and then somebody was like, TMZ just took it down. So I was like, okay, maybe it was just a rush to conclusion. And then I saw where they were like, no, it was, you know, he had his own helicopter. And that was, I guess, just like airplanes, they have call numbers or ID numbers or what have you on them. And that was the ID number of the one that was in the communication with the traffic controllers, and they had lost signal in it. And so from that point, I was like, dang, you know, it really started sinking in. And, man, you know, I was just at a loss for words, man. I just sat there and consumed a lot of the news coverage for every second, man, just looking at all the updates and stuff. And quite frankly, man, shoot, I'm not going to lie. I actually shed some tears over it, man. Kobe was my favorite athlete of all time, man. Probably not even athlete, just entertainer. You know, I like Jay a lot, but Kobe was probably, I don't know. It was just crazy, man, for real.
Yeah. See, what'd you think?
My initial reaction was shock. And then, like he said, when it came across TMZ first, I was hoping it wasn't true. And so I immediately turned my TV to Sports Center and just, you know, I was like, until I see it on the bottom line or breaking news, I'm not believing it. And then, slowly but surely, minutes later, popped up. And when it first came on TMZ, I called my husband, and he's probably laughed, one of the biggest Kobe fans ever. And I'm like, it's on TMZ, but it's not on anything else. And, he has family still in LA. I was like, I need you to call LA. I need, somebody to confirm it because I don't believe it. But once I found out it was true, yeah, it was nothing but sadness. And not just for, because Kobe, the basketball player, but I just feel like Kobe embodied greatness in everything he did in so many ways. So we just lost a good person.
Yeah.
And not even just, a basketball player. Everybody they interviewed that talked about Kobe talked about how he made them and challenged them to either think harder or do better. And so he's definitely going to be missed.
Yeah, and I can hear the emotion. I definitely can hear it. Rika, what were your thoughts?
I was thinking pretty much the same thing as everyone else. I loved Kobe. Kobe's the reason why I started watching basketball in the first place. I can remember in college when Kobe was in the finals against AI that I was glued to my TV during that series. And after that, I was a complete Kobe fan. And I had to watch every game that he was playing for real. And I just think that his legacy kind of is motivation to other people. When you see the impact that he had on so many different people, when you see that kind of emotion and the kind of stories that they have to tell, not just business-wise or encouragement and whatnot. Because I saw when Stephen A. Smith said that when he was talking about how people told him he might could be the next Oprah, he was like, forget Oprah. Think about Harpo. He's like, think bigger. It's like not necessarily the TV personality. Think about the brand, how much further you could go if you think about it on a larger scale. And when he said that, I was like, man, Kobe's really out here inspiring not just, us, not on the court, not just as a father and a husband, but as an entrepreneur and as somebody who didn't go to college but spoke a lot of languages and seemed to just be a consumer of knowledge and then a sharer of knowledge is very inspirational to me.
Yeah. I'm not going to front. I was not a Kobe Bryant fan while he was in the league. I actually rooted against him. I'm one of those people that did not like how things went down between him and Shaq, and I held that against him. And later on, you saw where Shaq and Kobe patched things up. They both talked about where they made mistakes as teammates and as men, and I think they displayed true manhood by doing that. And a lot of the harshness and I guess for lack of a better term, vitriol, or when you have a player that you root against, you don't like them. A lot of that started to wane. I think a perfect example of that would be as a kid, most of Black America loved the Lakers.
Yeah.
And we'll tell a funny story about me and Lab being Lakers fans later on in the show. But growing up, my favorite player was Magic Johnson, and the player that I hated the most was Larry Bird because he was his rival, and Larry Bird was cold-blooded. He was the villain in my eyes, and while he was playing, I could not stand him. But as a father now, when I talk to my son, I talk to other young men about basketball, there's no way that you could say Larry Bird was not cold-blooded. He was not one of the best players to ever do it. I never hated on Kobe's game because I always appreciated his approach to the game, his skill, how serious he took it, the killer mentality that he had. And I look back at clips now after he retired, and I see some of the remarkable plays that he made, and I somewhat kicked myself from saying, man, I really miss watching greatness by not watching this man. But the thing that also stood out to me was the impact that he had on other people. We started this show because we wanted to make an impact. We wanted to enlighten, empower, and enrich every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. I don't think you can find anybody that did that better than Kobe Bean Bryant. When you look at the players and how they looked up to him, you see players who on a global magnitude like D. Wade and LeBron shook because they were friends with Kobe. They were brothers with Kobe. they looked up to him. And seeing that and then knowing the hurt that my friends, Lab, C, a bunch of other people going through by losing somebody like that, it really made me somber and it made me sad. And when I found out that his child was on there with him, I thought as a father how terrible that was and how shook and how devastated and heartbroken his wife and the remaining children must be. So I had to talk about this show, and I want to give all respect to that man. I'm getting a little bit emotional right now because, I rooted against him hard. And Lab will tell you we had many arguments about Kobe and how Kobe wasn't better than LeBron and he'll never be MJ.
Yeah.
But Kobe made me so dejected at times. I remember when the Portland Trailblazers had a squad. Rasheed Wallace, Scottie Pippen, I think Steve Smith, you name it. They had a squad, and they ran up on the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq, and I thought they were done. Because the thing about Kobe was highly intelligent. His father, Jelly Bean Bryant, played in Italy, so that's why Rico, when you talked about him speaking multiple languages, he spoke Italian fluently. He was groomed to play basketball. He came to Philly, Lower Merion, high school phenom, and he came into the league. And I'm telling you, he ruined my evening so many times by the shots that he made and the games that he won. And it's just tragic. It's tragic that he passed away in that fashion. Because I think you all will agree, I think his best was yet to come. As good as he was on the court, I think that his impact, not just with basketball, but for the world, him grooming his daughter. I just read that he trademarked her name. Her name is going to be Mamabacita. Grooming his daughter to be the face of women's basketball, to try to grow women's basketball. I mean, this brother was a forward thinker, and there's so many. I'm starting to ramble, but there's so many different situations where he displayed his intelligence, and you can see how his peers respected him immensely. So it's a tragic loss, and I'm really sad for his fans and for his family.
I'm sad that I heard that his wife had not been informed before the news broke by TMZ. A lot of people are talking about how irresponsible it was for TMZ to share that information before the families found out. And to hear about the loss of your husband and your child possibly over the internet, the way it happened, where we weren't sure of who was on board and what happened, that has to be the most horrible experience. I can't even imagine. I feel so horribly for her and her children.
Yeah, I think that the media was extremely irresponsible in how they handled this, and we'll talk about a couple other situations. I think the most ridiculous was Rick Fox being on board. I don't know how that came out. They said Rick
Right,
Fox.
right.
Rick Fox was on board. I mean, I get that people were scared when they gave the initial number, and Kobe was known for using the helicopter, right? I didn't know this, but when the news came out, people talked about how he was known for using the helicopter to get from Staples Center back home, and it was like one of his preferred modes of travel. And the immediate fear was, were the babies on board? Because they initially said it was 5 passengers, and he had 4 daughters. So, I think people were in shock and speculating and not knowing that they were spreading false news. I mean, I was part of it as well, because people were like, Rick Fox is on there. I was like, oh man, Rick Fox too? What about the babies? And I just think that we have to hold the media to a higher standard with how they report things and how they show compassion to the family. So if she had found out in that fashion, Enrique, I agree, that is terrible.
To me, that it speaks to the whole part of that whole impact of Kobe was he was really the first one. I mean, KG was a year before him in high school. He came straight out of high school. But Bryant, because his dad had NBA pedigree, he took Brandy to the prom. So, he lived his life right in front of the camera. So even though it wasn't social media back then, it was like he grew up with in front of everybody. And nowadays, that's how everybody is. All these high school kids, their games are on ESPN every week. High school players when they're in 10th grade. You say, oh man, this guy's the number one guy in the class of 2023. You're like, man, it's just 2020 right now.
Right.
But Kobe kind of was really like the first one of those guys that, when the internet started gaining popularity, was right when he was coming out. So you didn't have to go home and watch, ESPN plays of the week and see the top plays. You could go home every night and you could see what was going on in Philly. You could see what was going on in Seattle. You could see what was going on in LA. And prior to him, you really didn't have that. So that's why I think his impact was so far reaching.
That's hard to hear about your husband and your daughter through TMZ or on the news or social media. I think we're a little too far gone. I don't think there's a whole lot we can do about it. But if that's the case, like something really needs to, I don't know if you can do anything, but something really needs to be done about those news and media outlets. I heard the sheriff when he did like a press conference and, he was kind of like ripping TMZ and saying it was irresponsible and he didn't have time to do his job. That hurts. But, I don't know if there's anything anybody can do about it. I think, we have access to cell phones and everybody's recording everything. And I bet whoever was there should be let go. But, whoever was there who got the word out to TMZ, that's ridiculous. That's inconsiderate.
Speaking of video, they had a video supposedly of it going down.
Yeah.
No,
I ain't watched it.
There was a video that was allegedly, I didn't see it, but it was circulating through social media. But I think it was debunked. It was actually a helicopter crash that happened overseas, I believe, in Turkey or somewhere like that. But for the people who actually shared that, you really need to reevaluate your life and think about the impact that you are having on folks by doing that. And in addition to that, you power people who have already leaked the finale as well. Rethink your life too, because we do not appreciate you. But speaking of the media, MSNBC, they have an anchor named Allison Morris. She committed a slip up. That's what people in the other media outlets are trying to call it, a slip up, when reporting the news of Kobe Bryant's death. And she was trying to say the Los Angeles Lakers, but what came out was the Los Angeles, I won't say the word because we don't use that on the show, but the Los Angeles N-words. Now, she tried to backtrack on Twitter and say that she messed up her words and she accidentally combined the Knicks and the Lakers. So she said Nakers, not the other word that Massa used to call us. But I don't believe it. I believe that's what you call muscle memory. And I think that she just got caught up. I think that many white people, they have jokes like that. You think about like whenever there's Martin Luther King Day, and their favorite thing to say is Martin Luther Coon Day. And there's times when people in the media slip up and they let that slide because that's what they're so used to saying. Me personally, in my opinion, I think that this was the same type of situation, and I think that she should be let go. Erika, did you see that?
Yes, I saw it, and I agree with you. I heard the N-word. I didn't hear anything about a Knicks-Lakers combination.
Yeah, the Lakers. A K don't sound like a G. Get out of here.
They went back into the crisis room and worked real hard on that, too. I'd be like, this all you came up with?
Right.
What kind of team is this? This whole team is fired.
Right. And you know what? And I want the people who were sharing that supposed video of the helicopter crash, the folks who leaked the Power finale, and all you black people who out here blocking for this white lady to jump off a bridge. That's exactly what I want you to do. Because whenever somebody black says something, or they're emotional, or they're trying to give their raw feelings, and if they say something wrong, we are so quick to excoriate them and to punish them and to try to say how wrong they are. But you never see people who are non-black stick up for us. And for all you all trying to ride for this woman, miss me with that. Miss me with that 100%. You know, the other thing that I saw was we all know Kobe's history. We know how he came into the league straight out of high school. We know his 81-point game. We know the MVPs that he won, the championships that he won. But also in death, you know, we have to remember things that happened that weren't so positive. I do think that there is a time and a place to do that, to be honest about somebody's life and their legacy. But I don't think on the day or the day following, when so many people are hurting, is the appropriate day to bring up someone's faults. And in the media, we saw more than one outlet talk about the Eagle, Colorado incident. Mind you, the case and the charges were dismissed, but there were people who felt it appropriate to bring that up while his family, his friends, his colleagues, and his fans were grieving. What do y'all think about that?
I think it goes to the lack of respect that we're shown in mainstream media on a regular basis. Because at the end of the day, every little mistake that we made is always going to be the highlight. We can never get away from any misstep or anything like that. Even if we're proven innocent, proven not to be true, they're always going to be like, but don't forget, this time they messed up. They're not that great. They're not that wonderful. It's like they're always trying to take away from our greatness, take away from our legacy.
So I'm going to add to my list. I'm going to add to the list. What we on 4 now? The people who were sharing the fake helicopter crash, the people who leaked the power finale, the people that are blocking for the lady that said the Nakers, which really said the N-words, and anybody who wants to talk about the Colorado incident so soon without letting people grieve appropriately. I need all of y'all to jump off the bridge. But
you got a lot of people on this so-called hit list. We're talking about power. I'm gonna start calling you Tommy. Shoot.
Let's bring it back to Kobe, though.
Let's bring it back to Kobe.
All-Stars coming up in Chicago. I'm sure it's going to be super emotional. We saw teams paying homage to Kobe by not shooting on the first possession, letting the 24-second shot clock run out, honoring Kobe because he wore the number 24. I didn't see it, but I heard that there were teams who were purposely committing 8-second backcourt violations because Kobe also wore number 8.
How crazy is that, man? It's 24 and 8, man. That's crazy.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, what do you think the NBA is going to do in Chicago? How would you like to see them pay homage to such a legend?
You know, I think the best thing really would be they have to do some kind of tribute. I saw something where they suggested that maybe the East or maybe LeBron's team, the entire team wears number 24 since he's the captain of the West team. And then Greek Freak, his whole team wear number 8 with their names and stuff on there or something like that. I saw there was a petition to change the NBA logo.
I heard they were somebody told me today that they were going to have Kobe as the logo, that they wanted Kobe as the logo.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board for that one. He's way more impactful than Jerry West.
Yeah, I mean, it needs updating anyway.
I think
Jerry West is Jerry West.
I don't think you need to take away from Jerry West.
Yeah. Because
Jerry West has had a great impact on the game. I just think with time, change happens and people.
Yeah. So. And then I also saw people talking about renaming Staples Center. And
I saw that too.
Maybe once the Clippers are supposed to be building their own arena, when it's just a Lakers only arena, then I think that will work. But with the Clippers, not the Lakers already cast a huge shadow over the Clippers in LA. And so if every time you go to play it's at Kobe Bryant Stadium, I mean, I don't know that would be.
But the Clippers will never overshadow The
No.
Lakers.
That's what I'm saying.
They would never
When
overshadow the Lakers, even if they win with Kawhi and Paul George.
right.
They would
But
never overshadow the Lakers, and Kobe reigns supreme over the
in
whole
LA.
league. Well,
Yeah, over LA.
LA, but his
Yeah.
impact goes worldwide, like we said. So
Right.
I think that the logo, I definitely would like to see that.
Yeah.
I definitely like the idea of number 8 on one team, number 24 on the other team. I don't know if they will necessarily name a stadium after him,
Yeah, that's
just
tough.
because I think a lot of that's tied into a lot of corporate sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see streets named after him. I
Yeah.
definitely see all types of foundations named after him and his daughter Gianna. It's tough. It's tough. But let's try to lighten the mode. Let's talk about me and laugh. We'll go ahead and tell the story.
Man.
So
So before we get into this, man, it's Kobe's fault, man, because he's the only reason I'm a Lakers fan. For real. It's the only reason. Growing up, I was, I liked the Lakers when it came against the Celtics or whatever, but I wasn't a huge Laker fan. The best player undoubtedly ever to come out of KC played for the Lakers, Anthony Peeler. So I kind of like the Lakers, but man, I love the Knicks. And that was kind of like we were talking about, because I didn't really like Jordan. And so it was like I loved the Knicks because he was the antithesis of the Knicks. He was flashy and everything like that. And the Knicks was like hard-nosed. They weren't the most talented team, but they work hard. They do that. Fast forward, Kobe had both, though. Kobe was talented, but his work ethic is unmatched. So I became a Kobe fan, which in turn turned me into a Lakers fan, which in turn sends me to LA
so
to try to catch a Lakers game.
So we'll go ahead and tell the story. So Lav and I, every couple years, take a fellas trip out to LA. We got a lot of frat brothers out there, so we go to LA and kick it. And in years past, we never really could afford the Lakers tickets, even though we wanted to go. And so we went to Clippers games. We saw Steph and Clay before they became Steph and Clay, right?
Right.
We saw Blake Griffin, and we had, like bomb seats. And for people who don't know, the Clippers games are totally different than Lakers games. You go into a Clippers game, it's all light and bright. It looks like you're going into Walmart. You go to a Lakers game, if you look at the TV, it's dark. They had the settings set and everything.
It's showtime.
It's showtime.
Mm-hmm.
So Lev and I go to LA, and we're like, hey, look, we're going to go to a Lakers game. No matter what the price is, we're going to go to a Lakers game. So we get out there. We got to fly Airbnb. Had a wonderful time. And we looking for tickets, and Lav hits me up. It says, hey, now mind y'all, I'm about to tell this story. And y'all gonna listen to this, y'all gonna be like, you big dummies. But it looks, it in hindsight, hindsight is 2020, but we'll talk about it. So Lav hits me up and says, hey, this dude's selling tickets right behind the goal, $200 a piece. And I was like, all right, let's get them. Now, hindsight 2020, you ain't getting no Lakers ticket for $200 behind the goal.
Not even the last row.
Not even the last row of the stadium. You ain't getting no ticket for $200. So,
and that was when they was
playing Cleveland. They was playing with LeBron. They was playing LeBron wasn't on the Lakers yet. So
yeah.
So we communicate with the guy, and he was like, "My name is Felix." Hindsight 2020. Hindsight 2020. Right. So Felix says, El Gato. So Felix said, hey, come meet me at my job at the mall, and I'll sell y'all the tickets. So we drive probably about 30 minutes, Los Angeles traffic. We bumping Nipsey Hussle, we like, man, we finna get these tickets. Felix comes out, man. Felix got on all the hip hop gear, loked out shades, Looking back at it, man.
Where do you work at?
Yeah, where you work at, Felix?
Where do you work at dressed like that, Felix?
So Felix hands me the tickets, right? And I look at the tickets and I'm like, man, this don't look right. But hindsight 2020, I should have been like, man, these ain't real. But I was like, I was just excited to get the tickets, right? We just
know what else? What? Think about it. He gave us the tickets and waited. Like we didn't even give him no money at first.
Right. He just gave us the tickets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then he even sold it tougher, Enrique. He was like, hey, look, y'all come out here again, man. I get y'all ticket to the Dodgers, to the Kings. I got y'all. Say my number.
He said, I got a mob. Be getting all the tickets.
Say my number. Say my number.
Right, the dude at the mall can afford Laker tickets.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So
getting all the tickets.
So we meet up with the bros, and we tell them about the tickets, and we bragging. We got these tickets $400. They like, man, call them. We want some too. But they ended up getting the tickets. They were a little bit smarter than us. So we get to the game. Lav was not lying when he said he's a Lakers fan. So we pay the park. This dude, Lav, starts running. He starts jogging to the stadium. I'm like, dude, what you doing, man? I remember you tell me if I'm lying, Lav. He was like, I'm just so excited. I was like, all right, bro. So I'm the type of guy. When you see your friend happy, you're happy. I was just like, man, you know what I'm saying? My boy. I was happy to see LeBron, but Lav is very excited. So we get there. And we in line about to go in the game. We done took pictures with all the statues. And I'm looking at everybody else's tickets. And they tickets had like pictures of like Kobe, different like current Lakers players.
Yeah,
they were all embossed. They were embossed in like, these big old fonts and paper cutouts. And we got these little bitty paper cutouts that AXS tickets that Felix then printed out on some cardstock paper. So I'm looking, Lav is in euphoria. We about to get in, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So we get to the door seat, and the lady scans the ticket, boop, and then she looks, she gives this crazy look. And then she hit it again, boom. And then she was like, where y'all get these tickets from? And I swear Lav said it. Lav said, from this dude named Felix. and she said, nah, these ain't gonna work. Y'all got to go on to the ticket booth.
She said, go to the ticket booth and tell them what happened.
And
like that was gonna work.
Exactly.
And remember what I said. As happy as I was for Lav, seeing him excited to get in, the dejection that was on his face when we got denied, I felt so bad for that brother, man. I felt so bad for him. And we walked around, and Lav and Preacher Kids, I was like, hey, dude, we finna lie and get our way into this game, dog. And that didn't work. But we were trying to buy tickets from the scalpers out front. And, even the tickets from the scalpers, we was like, hey, look, we bought these for $200. They was like, $200? We ain't got no ticket for $200. You better come with $500. These are the scalpers. And
right. After the game already started.
Yeah, this is like they still wanted $400 or $500. So long story short, wonderful trip, but we didn't get to go into the game. And we was $400 short.
Man,
messing with Felix. So
I got to see the Lakers this year though, so I'm good.
Listen, Felix took that money right into the mall and bought some more gear.
Oh man, into the mall.
Went to Slauson, the swap meet, and got geared up.
Yeah. So Kobe and the Lakers came to Kansas City. Matter of fact, it was on my 21st birthday, preseason in 1999. It was a Wednesday evening. So I'm like, cool, I'm going to go see him. It's a preseason game. I bought tickets. Of course, I went there by myself. Nobody else was going with me. I went. Kobe didn't even play, man. he sat out that preseason game, man, for real.
That's crazy.
I was like, dang,
That's
devastated.
Crazy. Yeah. So when you go to LA, it was so funny. We called our people from LA, and they wanted to laugh at us. Like, we could laugh at it now, but at the time, hey, it was some sad stuff, man.
I turned my phone off,
it
man.
was sad.
I got back to KC.
Look, we went to Roscoe Chicken and Waffles, bought some chicken and some waffles, man. You know, normally you hype eating fried chicken, man. We was just like, man, this don't even taste the same. We done got ripped off. You know what I mean? But long story short, when you go to LA, buy your ticket from a legit source, or you'll end up like me and laugh. Yeah, you'll end up like me and laugh.
Out there, Staples, so
for sure. But at any rate, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. R.I.P. to the Black Mamba. You would definitely be missed. Our condolences to the Bryant family, to Kobe's fans, the 7 other people who lost their lives in the crash. Our condolences to the families. We appreciate y'all checking in with us. Make sure you follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Man Listen Show. Make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, and anywhere else you find your podcast. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Peace. And RIP to Mamabacita too.
Mamba forever.
Yeah.